When summer comes, everyone gets excited. There's family gatherings, swimming, people coming together to do things and have fun, and also EDM festivals. I'm talking about those gigantic camping outdoor raves, good music, art, fun lights, installations, performers, all the great things. People from all over the world get together, and for a weekend, they can forget about life back at home. And sometimes a lot of people get chemically enhanced. Like it or not, that's what goes on there. I think that festivals can be a beautiful thing, and I have nothing against them. But on June 29th, 2026, at a festival here in Rothbury, Michigan, something happened that rocked the EDM festival community to the core. It's very controversial. I've seen so many people fight about it, and I'm going to talk about it. There was a baby found in a porta potty, and I just would like to give some information because I haven't seen this talked about on any mainstream media in like a I don't know. We're going to talk about it. My name is Detroit Allycat. If this is the first time you have ever come to my channel, welcome. I like paranormal stuff. I like doing weird unboxing. I like doing anything strange and unusual. But I also cover true crime as well. I cover true crime because I think it's important that people know what is happening out there in the world from a perspective like a normal person. I am not a journalist, I'm not a news broadcaster. And I just think that, I try to get the facts and bring them to you. So without further ado, let's get spooky. All right. So in Michigan, we have a area called Rothbury, Michigan, and they have this huge festival called Electric Forest. I have always personally wanted to go, but it's too far. I have kids, I have a life. I'm not saying I throw shame to anybody who goes who has those things as well. It's just been something I can't do. I've been to smaller festivals, which I find enjoyable. And to be honest with you, I would take a smaller festival any other day. I just cannot do big crowds. And it sounds kind of overwhelming. But I hear lots of great things about Electric Forest. So, on that note, if you are coming here and you think that I'm ready to bash festivals and EDM festivals, it's quite the opposite. I think this is a great place for people to get together and decompress from everyday life. And I honestly don't see anything wrong with taking hallucinogenics. I just don't. You may or you may not. It's not my business. As long as you're not hurting anybody, then who cares? And that's just how I feel. However, I feel that when you're in a gigantic area with all these people doing drugs, chemical enhancement, there needs to be safety precautions and things set in order in case something happens. I don't think anybody suspected something like this would happen, but I've been seeing a trend in festivals that I just think that we need to talk about. Like we can't just ignore it, and it's important. So let's talk about it. Once again, I have my little pad of paper because I'm old school like that. On June 28th, the body of a newborn, and the report said less than 4 weeks old, was discovered. I actually found out that was attached to the umbilical cord and placenta. So I don't know why it said that less than 4 weeks. Maybe that's just a technical term, but it was found in a portable restroom. Now, the interesting thing is that online there was like debates that like the baby was found in a flushing toilet, which honestly I don't understand why that matters at all. But It was not a flushing toilet. It was a chemical porta potty, which, if you don't know, it's just basically like a hole and you go to the bathroom and there's chemicals in there and it's sanitized sorta. And every day they come out and they empty it, they clean it, and we continue onward. So they actually found this newborn in the porta potty. And it's important that you know that no party goers, no EDM festival people were actually the ones that alerted the festival that something was wrong. It was the maintenance man who was cleaning out the porta potty that found the infant. So that is really awful. Just because I feel like that job is hard enough, and then they find that, and I can only imagine how they did find that. The report also says that they did an autopsy. They're not releasing any information. Like, we still do not know the sex of the baby. They said that the way that the baby died was they found fluid and matter in its lungs. I believe it was human waste that they found in the lungs. I don't know how you could not get any more vile than what I'm telling you. I'm so sorry if this is disturbing you. It disturbed me. So they found fluid and waste in the lungs. They have not ruled it a homicide yet. And I really suspect that they have not ruled it a homicide as of yet because they have not found the person who gave birth to the child. However, they have said that the infant was born alive and breathing. So this type of crime is called a baby disposal, a newborn baby disposal. You can Google it online. It's I wouldn't say it's common, but it is a crime that's committed younger women that try to hide that they're pregnant for some reason, and when they give birth, they go ahead and dispose of the baby. It's really disturbing. It's really awful, and it is indeed homicide. I think that they're not releasing a lot of information about this being a crime because they want the mother to come and turn herself in. And the other thing is that when you give birth to a child, your body goes through a certain amount of trauma. And most of the time, you need medical attention, almost, all the time. But here is the thing that people are not taking account of. Women have been giving birth to children since the dawn of man. That is how man has occurred, is women giving birth. And there hasn't always been hospitals. So for this woman to give birth and walk away and be completely okay and not go to a hospital is completely a possibility. I want to talk about electric forest, so we have some information on it because I found some things out that I thought was interesting. 2009, it was actually Rothbury Festival, and it was held on the JJ Resort Rothbury camping grounds. They took a hiatus for a couple years, and in 2011, Electric Forest was born. It is run by Insomniac Events, partnered with Madison House Presents. At this time, I read it attracts up to 40,000 to 50,000 people. But I also read it has had 80,000 people. I think last year or the year before they actually had 2 weekends. I'm just going to give it a round estimate of 40,000 to 50,000 people. That is a lot of people. Now, as for the 2026 weekend, there has been multiple accounts of incidents. We do know that there was someone who unalived themselves. His name was Jared R. Jackson. He was a 28-year-old man. He apparently went looking for help, and for some reason they didn't turn him away, but they released him. and then he was found in the woods by the campgrounds. It's a very sad story. There was also reports of an overdose that happened on the ground. I couldn't find the exact information, so we're just going to call that allegedly. And there were two fatal car crashes leaving the campgrounds. So that's not technically an electric forest fatality, but it sounds like this year had some very deep, heavy things that happened to it. And something that's I just want to bring I just want to talk about, and I know it doesn't have to do with electric forest, but last year at Burning Man in 2025, there was a murder that occurred. His name was Vadim Kruglov. I know it's a hard name to pronounce. He was Russian. He was actually one of the engineers that constructed the art installations in the campgrounds. He was very loved. They found him in a pile of blood and he had been stabbed in the neck. This case is completely cold to this day. It like, they they don't know who did it, and that is just something that we need to talk about because there was no preservation of the crime scene, and I also looked into what happened at Electric Forest this year, and I had read no reports of how the preservation of the crime scene was conducted there. I do know that they did not shut down Electric Forest. And the thing is that the baby was found on Sunday, the last day, and a lot of people are like, well, if they sent everybody home, all these people would be intoxicated and on drugs and there'd be more fatalities. Okay, so the campgrounds and where the festival is, like they could have sent people back to the campgrounds or other place. I know that the the infant was found, I believe, in an area called Good Life. I'm not sure. They haven't really released it. I've just seen that online, so that's gotta be allegedly. But there would have been a way to shut down Electric Forest and have everybody, like, chill in their tents or on the site without being in that area. I personally think that they should have shut down the festival. I think that a dead newborn means that the party is over, and I think it's kinda gross and sickening that they continue to go. And I've seen a lot of people come online and say, "Oh, they couldn't," or this and that, and you know what? I just think that this and this is my opinion, this is really sick because this is basically telling the world that it's more important for the party to continue than face the fact that there's a fatality, an infant, a dead infant, like one of the most purest forms of life in the world, and it is gone. And and honestly, they needed to shut the whole place down. They needed to conduct interviews. They needed to like do a full investigation. I don't know if there were cameras, but like the fact that this has been able to happen, I don't know. I just think that there should have been more done, and I know that there are gonna be a lot of people very angry at me because they wanna protect Electric Forest and they wanna say that the party should continue, and I would just like to tell you that the party will continue because this isn't going to matter to any of the party goers. They're still going to go, which I do think is a little messed up. I think that really we should just take a beat. I think what should be happening right now is that everybody should be sorry, everybody should be being honest about the fact that this is a tragedy and that we need to work together or they need to work together as a community to be able to make sure this never happens again. Not just try to defend, explain, and have everybody be told, like, I don't know. I've just seen a lot of crazy things. And there is something else I really wanted to talk about today because if you are watching this and you are part of the EDM community or you're a young woman or even a young man, I want you to know that Michigan has a safe delivery of newborn law. which means within 72 hours of having the baby, you can surrender the baby. And you can surrender the baby to a hospital, a fire department, a police station, and this next one is very important, okay? An EMS station. So I want you to know that, like, if you are at Electric Forest, there are going to be EMS stations there, and you can surrender the baby. And there will be no questions asked, no repercussions, just drop the baby. And that does make what happened a lot more nefarious in my opinion because there were options. There were options, and I do agree with everybody or some of the people that say, "Well, we don't know what happened." Like one of the speculations is that she could have been human trafficked. I can't say that that didn't happen because I don't know, but I think the likeliness of that is low. I think that somebody probably went to Electric Forest and panicked and made I can't even call it a mistake. I think they did something and now they have to live with that for the rest of their life. And if perchance you're watching this, you should just turn yourself in and face what you have to face because y- it's awful. It's awful, but it would be better if you went and disclosed what happened to the world and faced the punishment, and I implore you to do so. There is actually a guy that is an attorney that attends Electric Forest, and he's been very vocal about what is happening, and a lot of the community is, like, really, like, coming for him, like, they're like, "Well, I've seen you on all these things." Well, of course, like, people go to Electric Forest to do those things, but, like, I'm actually very proud of him to standing up to the community and saying, like, "Hey, this is wrong," and this is what this guy has done. Okay, so this guy, his name is Nicholas Somberg, and if you're watching Nicholas, thank you for being a good voice in the community. He attended it. He went to Electric Forest, but he also contacted Electric Forest and he made a post today. It said, "Reward for answers. I have called on Electric Forest and the owners of the festival to create a reward fund for information leading to answers in the death of the newborn baby found in a porta potty at Electric Forest. If anybody has any information about what happened, please, I think I know the Michigan State Police have decided to take this case and they are doing the investigation. Please contact them no matter how big, no matter how small. If you saw anything weird, just let them know. I do hope that they actually find this person. I hope that however the Electric Forest management deals with this, that they really sit down and like consider the seriousness of this. I think that they need to put a plan in order in case this ever happens again. I do want to state that I did know that the festival got shut down early on Sunday night, but it was like because of the severe weather. And I know you guys are going to think this is cheesy, but I almost feel like planet Mother Earth was like, no, I am done. You guys are done. Go home. And I know that that's like a really weird thing for me to say, but like, I just don't know how anybody could party or continue partying with that with that incident. And yes, they did go home early on Sunday, but it had nothing to do with the homicide that occurred. And I'm just going to call it a homicide because that's a homicide when you choose to dump your baby. I did want to say just one more thing. I don't know if somebody from the festival who runs the festival is gonna watch this, but I do know that there are states that they have baby boxes. And a baby box is basically you have the baby and then you put the baby in the box and you press a button and it alerts like the authorities and they come and get the baby, and whoever put the baby in the box is in no trouble whatsoever. I think it might be a good idea if Electric Forest or other festivals or other big events like this where people are camping and are chemically enhanced in this type of way have something like a baby box. I don't know if that's even legally possible. I do know that we have that 72-hour law here in Michigan. They are calling this baby forest, and I think that is very sweet. It's almost bittersweet because it's like named after Electric Forest, but I think it's more because of the baby in forest. I think a great hashtag would be justice for baby forest. And yeah, so I just wanted to bring to light what happened. I don't particularly like this conversation or this topic. Please stay safe. Please take the time to actually accept the fact that this is an incident that happened and should be taken seriously, and that partying is not more important than finding out how this happened. I think that this child deserves justice, and I think that, to be honest, the campground handled this a little bit inappropriately. It needed to be handled better, and I do think that there should be some statements coming out, like, some big statements coming out. I haven't heard any big statements. I've heard, like, "We are heartbroken." That's not a good enough statement. I'm heartbroken. I didn't throw the festival. Yeah, okay. I think I've rambled on enough. I hope that all of you partygoers going to the festivals, please stay safe. If any of you guys feel like you are feeling hopeless or something's really wrong, please don't 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 fail to reach out and ask for help. If the people on the campgrounds are not helping you enough, there are suicide 1-800 hotlines. Please call them. And yeah, that's it, guys. Stay safe, stay spooky.